Hello there, lovely ones. We're talking about cumulative frequency and ogives over here. Ogive is the picture form of cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency is when we look at a list of data and we see how it accumulates. This particular question is talking about a set of marks and it's telling us how many people got what kind of mark. So let's go into it and first write down what our cumulative frequency is. So the first one tells us that there are 0 people who got between 1 and 5 marks for this test, which is good news. Then we're going to add 7 to it so that we get an answer of 7. Now what that number tells us is that there are 7 people who got between 1 and 10 marks. Maybe let's write that on the side. So they got between 1 and 10 marks. Now, in order to find the next one, we're going to do 7 plus 17, which of course gives us 24. And that 24 tells us that we have got 24 people who got between 1 and 15 marks. And then, of course, the last one we're going to accumulate, in other words, add together, is going to be plus 6. And this tells us that there are 30 people who got between 1 and 20 marks. So I said we're going to plot this onto the Cartesian plane, which means we need some coordinates. Now the x values are the values of the marks, and the y values are the frequency, or the accumulated frequency. We're going to take the last amount in each class interval as the x coordinate. So the first one's going to be 5, the next one is 10, and after that we have 15, I'll put a bracket, and then we've got 20. Like I said, our y values are going to be our cumulative frequency, and then it's just a matter of plotting these coordinates onto this Cartesian plane. So I'm zooming out a little bit. Let's change my pen color to black, and I'm actually going to make this a little thicker. So our first coordinate is at 5 and 0. The second one is at 10 and 7. So let's find that. It's going to be here, 10 and 7. Our third coordinate is on 15 and 24, which should be over there. Our fourth coordinate is at 20 and 30. Now you would then use your ruler to kind of join this all up, but there's going to be a flow that we're looking for. And this flow, this shape, is what we call the ogive. So there we go, and then it goes up. Sorry, just trying to get the ruler perfect. I'm never going to get it perfect, am I? And then, whoa, it goes across like that. Okay. So the type of shape we are looking for with an ogive has this gentle S cube. And that S cube, curve, not cube, that S cube indicates that over here there were fewer people who got between 10 and 5, but then suddenly a whole big increase happened. And now we've got, 24 people who got 15 or below. Now we're going to do something a little more interesting. We're going to put this information on a box and whisker plot. So you'll see that I just grabbed the number line from there, so that I can then fill in the information. Now a box and whisker plot means that we've got to divide the measurements, or the ogive, into the 4 parts. So we're marking the top and the bottom, which are the range, and it means it starts at 5, and because that point is over there, and then our final value is at 20, so I'm going to put a line over there. Our median is going to fall directly between 30 and 0, so it's at 15. And let's measure it down to see that it is at roughly 12 and a half. So I'll put a line at 12 and a half. Then our Q1 is going to be at 7 and a half. So let's put roughly, it's going to be over there. And I'm going to measure down 7 and a half. It is, let's call that 10 and a half. Put a line over there. And then lastly, our Q3. Oopsie, I almost put it in the wrong space over there. Our Q3 is going to be at 22.5. 22.5 takes us to over there, which is, if we look, we'll say it's at 14.5. So this data actually looks quite symmetrically distributed. Slightly skewed to the left. No, actually I think it's very well distributed. It's pretty much center. So the reason I did that is I want you to be able to read our quartiles off these kinds of graphs. So you can see where the first quartile will be. It's in the first quarter of the cumulative frequency, and the second quartile and the third quarter, and so on and so forth. With that, it's enough from me. Much love.